right. This is one of my favorite trainings of all time. And it's because it really helped me a long time ago get past some barriers of guilt, of not good enough, of I don't have time, of a lot of things. So what I'm hoping today is that it will do the same for you. And that is vision boards. And more importantly, the power of your story. We all have a story, every single one of us. And we don't utilize those enough. They are underutilized by just about everybody. The secret of having everything that you want in life is really not a secret. It's believing that you do and that you can and that you will. And belief comes in a myriad of different ways depending on your programming. And everybody's programming is different. So what I'm going to go through today is how you can use vision boards to help further you, to help get you past some of the hurdles that you're going to come up against. Every single one of us does. Life throws us curveballs all of the time, and we have to deal with them. And you have to have the vision to keep moving forward, because if you don't, you will fall back into the same old, same old. But what is a vision board? A vision board is a visual reminder that keeps you focused on your overall results. It's one that can push you forward in a positive manner, but it also can remind you of consequences of non-action. Either way, it has to evoke emotions. If it doesn't evoke emotions, it's not going to work. A personal vision board keeps you focused on what you will achieve for yourself, your family, your community, your kids, whoever it is, your spouse. It's personal to you. A business vision board keeps you focused on where you're going in business, whether it's a certain rank, your financial goals, the number of people you want to help, where the company is, and how you can best help from your own perspective. And again, that's going to be different for everybody. Just because something works for Tina or for myself or for Kevin or anybody on this call or not on this call doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And that is why your vision board has to be personal. Don't copy anybody else's. Because somebody puts a Lamborghini on there, Lamborghinis don't excite me. I'm not going to do anything for a Lamborghini. So make it extremely personal to you. Vision boards have to, again, evoke the emotion that is going to make you believe that you can do it. And the more you see it, the more you focus on it. The more you focus on it, the more you take action. And the action then leads to what? Achieving that goal, that desire, that outcome, whatever it is. We call it vision boards or dream boards because it's in our mind. It's not come true fruition yet. And a lot of people don't understand the power of, let's just say, TV. How many of you have kids that watch TV or play video games? They get so entrenched and so enthralled in a TV show like Yellowstone. Everybody's talking about a stupid show called Yellowstone. I've never seen even one episode of it because I don't watch TV. And I had somebody say to me the other day, you have to see Yellowstone. I'm like, why? What is it going to do for me? I don't want to focus on other people's problems. I want to focus on keeping in front of me where I want to go, where what I want to accomplish. Watching the television show isn't going to get me there. A Lamborghini isn't going to get me there. So again, it has to be extremely personal to you. There are two types of motivation, positive and negative. Again, you're going to hear me say this. They have to evoke emotions that move you out of your comfort zone. You've heard a lot of us talk about if your dream is not so big or your vision is not so big that it scares you, it's not big enough. That is true. Now, I was listening to Michael Burnoff a couple weeks ago, And he hit on some really good points about vision boards. Not that I totally agree with him. We should not pay attention to vision boards, but negative emotions can move you. And in fact, it's human nature not to change your ways or what you do until you're so uncomfortable that you don't have another option. How many of you have felt that in your life? But you have to be very careful how you're going to display or remind yourself of the consequences of something negative. In other words, you don't want to put something on a vision board, or it's just like music. Let me use music for a second. We all know that there's music out there that use words, like bitches and hoes and sluts, and I hate using that language on here, but it's the truth. And we have young ladies growing up believing, because of their programming from the music, that that's what they are. The same thing happens with you and I every single day of our lives. So we have to be very careful how we use those negative consequences of not taking the positive action. And I hope that makes sense. So if you want to put something negative that's going to move you, make sure you frame it correctly. For instance, the music. Now let's use a car. If I continue to ignore generating wealth, I will have to drive this forever. And it could be an old beat up Subaru. It could be an old beat up pickup truck. It could be a bicycle. But if I make time daily for my business, I will buy this with cash. So I have the negative. I have my consequences of not taking my action, but I also am focusing on what the action is going to contribute to my life, whether it's something physical, whether it's something emotional, it doesn't matter. It's the way you frame the negative as a consequence of not doing the positive. Everybody gets a little bit anxious, I guess, on, okay, I have a vision board, but I don't want to put it where somebody's going to see it. Why not? If you come to my house, that's what you're going to see all around. The bathroom mirror is a perfect place for people to start. If they don't want people to see what they're putting, because sometimes these can be very private, right? Then put it on your bathroom mirror where just you go, or just you and your spouse go. And lipstick works really well. It doesn't come off really easy, so it's not going to fade or do anything if there's steam in the bathroom, but it can come off with a good cleaner and you can change it. So a bathroom mirror where you're going to spend your time, ladies, putting on your makeup, doing your hair, men, shaving, cleaning, pruning, whatever it is you're going to do, have those visuals on that mirror that, you're a winner, you're handsome, you're gorgeous. I continue to be more successful every day. People are drawn to me every single day. I have the right words to say to sponsor anybody. I can help 100 people this week, but always I will stay humble in my success so I come across as a true and authentic person. Opportunity seeks me out. Things like that. Whatever resonates with you, that's what needs to be there. And this is not egotistical, folks. This is programming your mind for success, programming your subconscious for success. You see, our bodies don't, and our minds don't act on the conscious. They act on the subconscious. And if more people understood the power of your subconscious, which TV shows, ice cream commercials, Reese's peanut butter cup commercials, Tina. I see her sometimes with Reese's peanut butter cup. I'm like, she must have just seen a commercial or heard a commercial for it. How many of you have ever been sitting in your chair at night just relaxing and a commercial comes on television for a Whopper at whatever restaurant that is? And the reason I say that is because one came on today. And all of a sudden, your mouth is drooling for a Whopper. That is what your subconscious, that's how powerful your subconscious is. So you need to feed that subconscious everything that you want on a daily and continual basis. Moms, you can relate to this. We use our refrigerator as vision boards for our kids from the moment they're born. It doesn't matter how old they are. We have numbers and ABCs and letters and animals and colors, all kinds of magnets that go on our refrigerator. Why not use your refrigerator if your kids are grown and gone, or a portion of your refrigerator as your vision board? Now, I know there's a lot of refrigerators nowadays, stainless steel and stuff, that magnets won't fit on, but you can get double back sticky tape that's not going to hurt those appliances and put your vision board on there, especially if you do a lot of things in the kitchen. If you're an active mom or active family person, husband that cooks, whatever it is, if you're going to be spending a lot of time in the kitchen, then a vision board is going to be a great place for you there. This can actually be purchased on Amazon. Your computer and your phone. It's sad to say, but people spend more time looking at screens, whether it's a phone, a laptop, or a computer, than we do looking at our spouse and our kids these days. It's actually very sad, but it can have a positive outcome. Because if you are staring at something that you really want to achieve, and that's a reminder to you every time you pick up that phone, every time you open your laptop or you turn your computer on or your tablet, whatever it happens to be, electronic vision boards can be as big or as little as you want. They have them. You can set your phone up right now to constantly do a slideshow of some of your favorite things. Well, set up what you want there. Then the next time somebody calls you and you've got Yellowstone on, you pick up your phone, you look at it, and you're not going to answer it, but then all of a sudden there's a picture of Yellowstone. How many of you have not been to Yellowstone yet? Or maybe, Bali. Bali's great this time of year. How many of you have been there? So give yourself reminders on your phone, on your laptop, on your computer. You can also get mobile apps that are vision boards. These digital vision boards are kind of like Pinterest for those of you that spend a lot of time on Pinterest. Believe it or not, my husband spends time on Pinterest. He comes up with some of the coolest stuff. Like he just showed me this thing for our kitchen that we're building in our house up in Alaska, this stamped concrete floor, which we were going to do anyway on the outside, but it looks just like wood because it's stained. And I'm like, oh, put that on the vision board. We need that. I want that, right? It's very, very expensive, but we are going to keep reminding of ourselves of why we want that and what we have to do to get that. Vision boards can be put in your home, your office, your home office, your work office, if you still have a job. Place them where you can see them while you're working to remind you of why you have to pick the phone up. Or if you still have a job, put your vision board someplace where it's going to remind you why you want to get out of that job, especially if you're having a bad day at that job. Your boss is hounding you, or you didn't get the raise, or whatever it might be. That's where a consequences vision board of not taking action would really come in handy. And then your bedroom. Everybody gets a laugh out of this, but I'm dead serious. I am dead serious. This is what I did. And if you come to my house and you come into my room, you will see one on the wall and on the ceiling right now. Why? You spend at least a third of the day in bed every day. You can't get out of it, right? And sometimes more than that. When you can inundate right before you fall asleep, your subconscious with what you want or the consequences of not taking action, what you're going to end up with, that's what your subconscious chews on while you're sleeping. Your subconscious will act on whatever it is it sees, and you program it with the last 15 minutes before you fall asleep. And if it's a visual vision board or an audio vision board, what is an audio vision board? That's where you make a recording of your voice and you tell yourself everything that you are going to accomplish. You listen to that right as you're falling asleep. Instead of listening to some music tomorrow night, listen to your own voice, telling yourself how successful you are, what you're going to accomplish, how much money you're going to make this year, how many people are going to be attracted to you. Now, for those that don't believe this works, I just challenge you to give it a shot. This is proven. Subliminal programming is proven over and over and over again. I digress back to TV and how it programs not only our children, but us. Your subconscious, again, absorbs and ponders on what you put into your mind as you're falling asleep. It is sad to see so many people always put something negative into their mind before they go to bed, and you wonder sometimes why you wake up in a bad mood. So put some good stuff into your mind as you're falling asleep. I guarantee it will not only put you in a better mood tomorrow and you'll wake up with that extra bump in your step, but you will feel better about yourself as time goes on because you are reinforcing you. And your body knows, your subconscious and your brain know your voice. How many of you talked to your babies before they were born? And when they're born, they recognize your voice, right? Well, it's the same thing. Your brain recognizes your voice. Give you the gift of you uplifting yourself. Are you as brave as Jessica? This is a video that was on the internet. It's probably still on the internet. It's only a minute long. Jessica is totally grown up now. This is not my Jessica. This is some other Jessica. And she would get up on the bathroom sink every day, and she would do her affirmations. I love my parents. I love my sisters. My family is terrific. I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's actually pretty incredible. Do you do that? Do you talk to yourself? I talk to myself in the shower all the time. I am constantly reaffirming myself in the shower and in the bathroom. It's a place where you can look at yourself, see your reflection, see how you are accepting, how your body is accepting what you're saying. And you will notice the first couple times you do this, just like if you do a recording of your own voice, you're going to be very uncomfortable. But as your self-worth grows, you will get more comfortable and you will get braver and you will get bolder in what you say to yourself. And that is a good thing. And then the last thing as we close out here is always remember your why. Nobody's why is bigger or lesser or more important or lesser important than anybody else's. Everybody's circumstances are different than the next person. Mine just happened to be my kids. And when I heard Michael Burnoff a couple of weeks ago talking about negative consequences, I started pondering about me getting out of my comfort zone. See, I couldn't work. For those of you that don't know, this is just a short piece of my story. She was not breathing when they airlifted her to Seattle. She went right in for her first of 8 brain surgeries. They didn't think she was going to survive. Now she did survive. She's in her 40s now. 2 years and 2 days later, my then 5-year-old, these are pictures of her, Jessica, was diagnosed with cancer. I couldn't work. I lost my house. I blew through all savings. I couldn't even buy milk. And somebody invited me to a meeting. I had dabbled in direct sales until then. And when Michael Burnoff was talking about this, I thought, it was negative consequences that got me to move. It was the negative of my house was repossessed. I came home from the hospital and everything I owned was sitting on my front yard. Everything. Do you know not only how embarrassing that is, but how devastating it is when both my kids are in the hospital? So it was the negative that moved me forward, but it was the positive outcome that kept me moving forward. Both of my kids survived. They're both doing well, but here's what I want you to notice. In the picture on the right, there are headphones on my daughter. This is Jessica. She is 7 years old, 2 years into chemotherapy in this picture, and she got chicken pox, something all kids get, but she didn't have an immune system, so it went inside of her body, and they told us that night that she was probably not going to make it. So I put a recording of some of our favorite songs and my voice telling her how strong she is, what a beautiful woman she was going to grow up to be, how she had gifts to offer this world. And they had me call the family. They did not believe she was going to make it. Her temperature, right after this picture was taken, they packed her in ice because her temperature was over 107 degrees. They figured her brain was fried. Well, it wasn't. And one of the nurses said to me, It's the kids with strong parents and a strong will to survive that do survive. My daughter came out of that, thank God, right? And she is now a grown woman. In fact, she's going to be 33 years old in March. So vision boards are living and ever changing. If the negative emotions and consequences, like mine were, are what move you to make change in your life, then focus on those negative emotions to move you forward. But always let your subconscious know what the positive outcome is going to be, because you don't want your subconscious focusing on negative, because what your subconscious focuses on is where your body goes, what you end up with. So don't allow those negatives to overpower the end goal. We all have an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. And this is the exact picture I thought about when Michael Bernoff was talking about negative vision boards, or consequences of inaction is what I like to say. The angels over here telling us, you can do it, you got this, we got your back, you got it. But the devil is saying, they don't really got your back. You can't do this. You know you've given up 10 times. You know you're not going to pick up the phone and call those people. BS. You overwhelm your subconscious with the positive, and you will succeed, because we all do. All right, let me stop the share. And if anybody has any questions, I would love to answer them. I'm getting a little teary-eyed today just because my daughter is going through some things right now that I've had to deal with. And so sometimes I've told that story probably a million times, and sometimes I still get teary-eyed because, it's just that emotions, but it was those emotions that moved me forward. So if anybody has questions, I'd love to answer them. If not, man, guys, get your visions in front of you. You don't know how powerful they are and how much they will move you forward. And one of the things I did was write myself $1 million check. I told this story in Cancun, and I couldn't, there were several times I wanted to rip that check up. I think I don't know who I was telling afterwards. They asked me, I said, no, there were several times I wanted to rip that check up because my subconscious was telling me, that devil was telling me, you're never going to make $1 million. Well, I did. And much, much more than that. So it works. Put that check up there in front of you. Let's all write a check and post a picture of it, of what we're going to make by the end of this year. And we're going to declare it. So thank you for allowing me to share. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I hope you all have a wonderful week.